Hey guys, how are you doing? I hope you're doing well, and I hope that everything is going as planned. As always, I know it's so much going on around us right now, right? And we are trying our best to stay sane and safe, and I hope that you're doing that. I hope that you are, protective of your space and energy, and you're surrounding yourself with things and people and energies that are positive and good, okay? Because that's all we need right now. My name is Titi. If you are new here, welcome. So we just come here to read. I read to you guys, and we just have conversations. And no, not stupid conversations, by the way. We talk about things that help us, build ourselves, embrace ourselves, okay? And welcome to the family. By the way, if you haven't already, hit the subscribe button and turn on your post notifications so that when I come here, you can see me. By the way, if you're new here, so after reading, I read some oracle cards that I, put out right before I get here, just for some guidance because why not? Okay. So last week we discussed embracing and transmuting your shadow traits. And I talked about how we all have shadow traits. And I know that some people think they're perfect. I'm not here to, talk about that. Maybe you're perfect. I don't know. But one thing I know for sure is we all have a bad side. We all have, um, a shadow side of us. And what's really important is embracing that part of us and being in control so that we're not being out there. So this week we're gonna read chapter 4 of, it says, sacred union within, balancing your energies. So we're gonna discuss balancing your energies. We may not finish the all of chapter 4 because, as I said, I'm not trying to record longer videos anymore. I really want to make it short so that people can, actually read and they can listen and understand, because I know that time is valuable, and a lot of us, we have so many things we're doing these days, and I'm just gonna get right into it. So chapter 4, sacred union within, and then it says balancing your energies. So, since you now know that the divine feminine and the divine masculine exist in everyone, and you've begun tapping into the divine feminine, it will be easier for you to let the light of the divine wisdom within you illuminate your path. What happens next? Well, you need to understand the core of each energy, how they play out, and what makes them distinct. Armed with this information, you will be able to tell when you are out of balance, living a life that skews more towards one energy than the other. Therefore, it will be easier for you to find your center, and as a result, your spiritual growth and general well being will astound you. Now, the concept of duality. Simply observing the world around you should tell you there's something off about the idea that there is only one God that has only masculine attributes. The same oddity, the same oddity should strike you even when you encounter religions or practices claiming this. God is truly a goddess and there is none other besides her. Observe life and you find that everything has its polar opposite, although opposite is not necessarily the best way to put it. You see, a thing and its opposite are really one and the same. If you have a dime, just because it has heads and tails doesn't mean you have two dimes. You understand this truth applies to everything in life. Even if you have been conscious of it, seeming opposites are merely the same thing to the extremes of a spectrum. The same can be said for divinity. For far too long, many have assumed that God is masculine, but now understand that God is both masculine and feminine. The creative for responsible the creative force responsible for all of life carries the duality mirrored in its creation. The universe is ruled by cycles and seasons. The progression from cycle to cycle happens even when expressing divinity as masculine or feminine. The divine masculine has taken precedence over the divine feminine, ruling supreme for at least 25,920 years on Earth. This alternating cycle is real, so much so it has its own name. The precision of the equinoxes. Without fail, the Earth journeyed through the zodiac sign, taking at least 2,152 years to move from one sign to the next. By the time the little blue dot completes its journey through every astrological house, at least 25,000 years have passed. As it turns out, you are fortunate enough to live during a time when the masculine energy is finishing its course and witnessing humanity's rise to a new level of awareness. In this era, the age of Aquarius, all souls awaken to a higher and deeper understanding of life they have always carried within, but have been unaware for far too long. It is said that this is when the fifth dimension becomes real to everyone. It is when the divine feminine and the divine masculine express themselves in harmony with one another in every heart and soul. You are already experiencing this transformation, and this book you are reading is evidence. And then we have what is divine masculine. The divine masculine is a core part of the universe, just as the divine feminine is. In the same way that it is impossible to conceive a child without the male and female reproductive cell, it is impossible to conceive a universe without the divine and the divine masculine and the divine feminine working in harmony. You seek to understand what the divine masculine is all about. There is no better way to do so than than by analyzing its traits. The first trait is assertiveness. The divine feminine balances the passivity of the divine feminine. Assertion is the quality of doing what needs to be done to get the required result. In the never ending debates between sexes, assertiveness has often been misconstrued as dominance, but it is not the same thing. Dominance seeks to control through force by any means necessary, with no regards for others, which is toxic masculinity at its finest. It's one way the shadow side of masculine archetype shows up. It's nothing to do with the divine masculine. However, the assertion is about persistence and consistency. Number two is determination. The divine masculine is goal oriented and relentless in its desire to accomplish set goals. Contrast to this with the divine feminine, which is laid back, working with emotions and introspection to allow things to come rather than to chase after them. It will be impossible to accomplish your dreams without determination, one of the divine masculine's gifts. The next one will be action. The divine masculine takes action. It does not remain passive. Passivity is a trait of the divine feminine. You can see this mirrored in how men and women relate to one another. In the most traditional sense, the masculine goes after the feminine's heart, never stopping until it is secured. Even the non traditional relationship dynamic, the same holds true. The divine masculine energy is about action through movement. And then we have goal focus. The point of the divine masculine's action is to accomplish goals. When you are in your masculine energy, you make things happen. You focus on your goals and don't stop until you see them through. And then we have risk taking. Masculine energy is about taking risk, while feminine energy is about remaining safe and pragmatic. There's no way to accomplish your goal if you're not willing to put something on the line. Knowing there's a chance this sacrifice may not pay off, yet this willingness to take risk is a necessary trait if you are to succeed in life. We have protection and provision, where the divine feminine nurtures, the divine masculine protects. This isn't to imply some foolishness like the term the weaker sex holds water. It's the natural role of the divine masculine to offer protection. The divine masculine naturally sees to it that everyone is provided for through action. We have leadership. The divine masculine energy powers leadership when you have to decide you are leading, which can only be effectively accomplished when you are in touch with your inner masculine self. We have strength and courage. Masculinity is about strength in all forms and the willingness to combine that strength with courageous action to accomplish whatever needs to be done, despite possible danger or risk. By the way, guys, just so you know, divine masculine, feminine, whatever, we're not talking about gender or sexes here. We are talking about energies, okay? Because you want to know the truth. I'm so when I say recently, I don't mean like right now. I mean, and like probably late last year ish or like middle last year ish, I started embracing my feminine side. I've been more on my masculine energy, which I am, but I've just been able to find a balance between my masculine and my feminine energy. All right, so signs of imbalance. What are the signs of imbalance? Okay. When individuals or the human collective leans more towards one divine energy over another, there are unmistakable signs. Look around you, you can clearly see the dark manifestation of the shadow or unhealed aspect of the divine masculine. People are stressed, burnt out, and unable to find joy in life anymore because they've lost sight of what's important. Perhaps you, too, may have felt this way. How are you in your relationship with others? Do you have trouble setting boundaries and others walk all over you? Or you may disrespect others' boundaries, causing what could otherwise have been a great relationship to become unhealthy and toxic? People are afraid of being vulnerable these days. They think it's a sign of weakness, so to keep themselves safe, they repress everything they feel. The result? Everyone walks around in their own little bubbles, isolated from everyone else. The lack of connection is a symptom of of a of a world solely lacking in empathy, kindness, and compassion? What about the little moment of positivity or the pockets of people who appear to push for a brighter world? Look closer and you will find that in truth there is nothing positive about the positivity brand they push. It is toxic, nothing more than tinsel, a veneer meant to make people shut their pain within even though it eats away at them. Nothing, not having the proper balance between the divine masculine and divine feminine energy in your life means you cannot distinguish between your energy and another person's. In other words, you don't have energetic or emotional boundaries, so you take on other people's feelings as if they were yours, which is draining. Even if you are more empathetic than most, you will benefit from learning how to protect your energy and to tell when you are feeling someone else's emotions rather than yours. The best way to handle this is by deliberately balancing both aspects within yourself. If you don't, you will find you abandon yourself emotionally. When you have to express your needs, you don't have to do so healthily. You want to speak the truth, but you can't because you are terrified about putting yourself first, even though it's sometimes necessary. Does all this sound familiar? Another sign is a constant push for productivity to the detriment of other aspects of your life. Every other influencer, or furu, another way to say fake guru, yells at you from the YouTube mountains to the TikTok valleys that you must hustle. You are sleeping too much, is what they say about getting regular hours of sleep. You are not pushing what they say about getting regular hours of sleep. You are not pushing hard enough. Sorry about that, guys. They preach at you. Never mind that you've put your blood, sweat, and tears into making these dreams. You have been sold as the ideal to happen when to happen while seeing little to no result, usually due to constantly moving the goalposts. The push for productivity is so bad that people don't take care of themselves anymore. They don't care for their mental or physical health as they worship at the altar of the almighty dollar in the cathedral of capitalism. Perhaps you too are noticing the futility of it all, which is why you've answered the divine feminine call. Things don't look great for the collective either, not when it comes to the imbalance of energies. War is the order of the day. Once upon a time, world leaders would at least put up a facade of caring, as though war were an ugly business they didn't want to be part of, but found themselves in the middle of out of necessity. Now, they don't even bother with putting on the makeup and costumes properly. The media's lies are more glaringly obvious than ever, causing an overall feeling of us against them. Even these us's have divisions among themselves. These efforts result from having lived far too long, completely ignoring one energy and favoring the other. You may think the solution is a pendulum swing to the other side, to the other extreme where the matriarchy is in charge and the divine feminine is only acknowledged. But that isn't it either. That could easily lead to stagnation and an inability to seek the new and embrace change, and other issues just as bad as being in a world high on spiritual testosterone. That is crazy, guys. All right, okay, we're still good. Misconception on balancing the feminine and masculine. Here's a quick look at some of the misconceptions people have about what it means to balance the feminine and the masculine. Number one, balance would lead to everyone being the same, which would make the world a boring place and eventually stagnate progress. This isn't true. There is room for individuality, even as people learn to balance both sides. You won't lose yourself, so don't worry. Number two, once you find balance, you remain in that state for the rest of your life. The truth is, you will always fluctuate in the degree to which you express one energy over other. It is a lifelong practice. Number three misconception. You have to be in a conventional relationship to find this balance. While you can learn a lot about balancing yourself in a relationship, you don't need a partner before you learn to find your balance. You are already in a relationship with yourself. Finding a balance between both energy is something you do by becoming more self aware and paying attention to how you relate to yourself. And let me tell you something, I literally learned to balance my feminine and masculine energy by myself, literally. Because if you can build that relationship with yourself, what makes you think you can build it with another person? Think about it. When that person is not there anymore, how are you going to continue to have that relationship with yourself if you don't start with building that relationship with yourself? Ask yourself. Anyway, these are a few misconceptions about balancing the divine feminine and the divine masculine energy. Still, there's some of the more problematic ones that could impede your progress if you believe them. You have better physical and mental health by keeping this energy balanced. The power of the divine will become a real, undeniable force in your life. You will learn to rely on for everything you need. All right. So we are gonna stop there and then next on the next episode we are, you know what, let me see, 19 minutes, 20 minutes. I want to stay at 20 something minute max. I still have to read this oracle card. Should I read this? All right, I think I'm gonna read it. So, exercises for balancing your masculine and feminine energies. The following techniques and exercises will help you find a balance between your expression of the divine feminine and the divine masculine in your daily life. Use breath work. Breath work refers to special breathing techniques that alter your state of consciousness and allow you to grasp spiritual ideas better than you would in a regular awakened state. It can change your it can change your physiologies as well as your mind for the better. One useful technique is alternate nostril breathing. And here's how it works. Number one, if you're not already wearing something comfy, do that now. And number two, find a quiet space where you won't be distracted or disturbed. Shut your eyes as you sit in a comfortable position. You will need about 5 to 10 minutes of uninterrupted time. Shut your eyes. Use your right thumb and press against your right nostril, shutting off the airflow. With your right nostril shut, take a deep breath through the left one. No, number five, release your right nostril so it's open again. Number six, using the ring finger, press down on your left nostril to shut it. Number seven, exhale through your right nostril. Repeat this sequence for the next 5 to 10 minutes. The beautiful thing about alternate nostril breathing is it helps you balance both hemispheres of your brain, which correlate to the masculine and feminine energies. And then we have practice self reflective journaling. This is journaling with a twist rather than document what happened each day. Write about your feelings concerning the predominant energy you embody. So even if you write about daily occurrences, do it in the context of how much you express the divine feminine and divine masculine imbalance. As you journal, think about the part of your life where you sense there might be an imbalance. Pay attention to aspects of your life where you push yourself harder than necessary and find it tough to draw the line with yourself or express what you need from them. You will find it helpful to write about your emotions and document how often you were in your touch with your intuition and followed it. Then we have get creative. Creatively expressing yourself is another excellent way to restore the balance between these energies. Consider activities that force you to maintain your focus and discipline your mind and body. Hold on, I'm almost there. Mind and body channel more of the divine masculine. You could learn a new technical skill, play chess, work out, etc. If you sense you could use more of this of the divine feminine, you should try singing, dancing, writing, painting, sculpting, and other creative endeavors. And then we have develop body awareness. Take up yoga. It is an excellent activity that forces you out of your head into your body. Certain poses are meant to awaken the divine masculine within you, while others will stir the divine feminine. An excellent yoga instructor will know how to blend both into a routine. Reframe old wounds. Sometimes the imbalances of these divine energies are caused by experiences you may have had in the past that traumatized or gave you a mindset that's been a handicap to you. In this instance, it will be most beneficial to dig deep into your past to discover why you have become dependent on one form of energy or the other. Once you have identified these landmark experiences, you have a new task. You must reframe them to make them positive. You take the negative energy and transmute it using understanding and compassion towards yourself. This doesn't mean you should deny that these things happen. Had these things happened or gaslight yourself into thinking it wasn't that bad. However, you become a researcher keenly on the lookout for the silver lining, the good within the bad. So, how do you find the gold in your pain? By asking yourself what lessons you've learned and how they empower you today. Let nature be your ally. The more time you spend in nature, the more balanced you'll become because nature does not know how to exist without balance. Whether in your modern Spartan apartment, several hundreds of floors above the hubbub of humanity, in the din of daily life, or deep in the heart of the Amazon, you will always be a part of nature. However, deliberately putting yourself in touch with nature accelerates balancing your energy. You can hike, sit on the bench and watch the ocean, walk barefoot on natural ground, lie on your back on the grass, use your imagination, or do whatever else you desire to connect with nature. And then we have practice meditation daily. Meditation may not be easy at first, but it is simple. All you need is 5 to 10 minutes in a quiet place. Wear comfortable clothing, sit or lie down, and shut your eyes. Keep your attention on your breathing as long as you can. If you have never done this before, the odds are you will constantly get distracted. This does not mean you are doing anything wrong. It's actually awesome that you're becoming aware of how often your mind jumps from topic to topic. Whenever you notice that you have stopped focusing on your breathing, simply acknowledge whatever thought you have in your mind and gently release it as you return to your breath. You shouldn't be harsh on yourself, even if you get distracted every other second. With consistent practice, you will become better at maintaining awareness of your thoughts. And the last one is to work with acupuncture and Reiki. Acupuncture can help you get rid of imbalances in the energetic flow in your body's meridians. Reiki is another way to accomplish this by moving stuck energy so there's free flow all through your chakra system and imbalances are sorted out. You'll need to work with a qualified practitioner if you choose to explore these healing modalities to sort out the imbalances between your inner masculine and feminine aspect. So I tell you what, guys, I have never tried acupuncture honestly, so I don't know how it works. But if you have, let me know. Tell me in the comments how it has helped you, how you felt, how you felt when you did that. I have never tried it, but maybe I'm gonna try it one day. um but I love to like meditate a lot. I practice yoga a lot. I um i walk in nature. I connect with nature. You can see my babies here too. But I also go by the water side and just connect with nature. I just sit there and just, recharge my energy. But yeah, maybe I'm gonna try acupuncture at some point. I don't know. But I'm gonna go ahead to read your cards that I have here. So the first thing I have is, hold on. I have surrender defensiveness. So defensiveness is a sign of weakness. To communicate in a more empowered way, stay centered and hear someone out, then offer a clear, non defensive response. I know sometimes we can be defensive, but sometimes maybe just listen and don't be defensive. Maybe the other person actually mean well for you. You don't know, but you're not gonna know if you keep getting defensive. So just chill, okay? And then we have surrender to joy. A key to positive change in your life is to let joy in and savor it. indulge in random acts of smiling. During both the hard and easy times, keep surrendering to more joy. By the way, my full name means everlasting joy, and I am stuck with that name forever because I am always going to have everlasting joy, and I know that for certain because my name just fits me, fits my life, and I just love it. I am so grateful for my parents that gave me that name. So the meaning of my name in English is everlasting joy. So we have surrender denial. Accept people and situation exactly as they are without denying the difficulties. Then you can see things clearly and make the best decision. I always tell people never force anything, never have this imagination in your head. You should see things, people, situation for exactly what they are. That makes things easy for you. And that's why, you know, when you don't do things like that, when you don't accept things and people for what they are, you are messing up your mental health because they're gonna keep showing you exactly what you don't want to see. But that's the fact. So when you see things, people, situation, or whatever for what they exactly are, it helps you to make better decision, the best decision for you. And then I have surrender to the beauty of the natural world. And we literally just read about connecting with nature. So it says take a relaxing break and spend time in nature. Replenish yourself by feeling the beauty and the ecstasy there. This is like double confirmation for you to connect with nature. Okay, take some time and just connect. Nature is calling you, and you can see that through here as well. I hope that you enjoyed today's reading, and I will be back again on the next episode. If you haven't already, hit the subscribe button. And I want to thank you guys for joining. If you actually made it to here, leave me the heart emoji in the comments, and then I'll know you. I'll know like the people that actually made it to the end of the video. So thank you so much for your time. You don't know how much it means to me. For me, the most valuable thing is time. I don't play with my time. So if I give someone my time, they better know that I truly, 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 genuinely care for them. So for you to spare your time to actually read with me means a lot to me, and I do not take that for granted. So I want to thank you and appreciate you for sparing some of your time with me, for spending some of your time with me. And I'm just gonna go and stop talking right now, and I'll see you guys on the next video. Take care of yourself, and bye bye now.